Cape Horn.
Well, the only Cape Horn I know of is at the bottom of South America, and I don't know. Maybe there's one in New England or something, but this almost looks more like a picture from New England in the fall. Maybe it is the Cape Horn. It looks like the picture was taken either from the side of a mountain, maybe an airplane. My eye kind of keeps going to this really bright spot over here in the upper right. I kind of wish it was going to this more to this area right down here where all the the one little island of trees and there's a house down there. Again, I kind of wonder if this picture would look better in color with the, you know, the trees changing color around here. You know, I really don't know. It's a little bit grainy. Maybe it's the mist. I can't really tell for sure. So I scored this 3 for composition, 4 for impact, and 3 for technical.
Mists at Cape Horn by Tim Lesser, 10 points.
I didn't see Tim at the meeting tonight. He's probably out taking pictures, the devil. There's some nice clouds out there.
Twilight.
Well, this was my favorite of all the black and white images. And this looks like the water off of Cape Horn of South America. Because you always hear about how, you know, turbulent and how rough a crossing it is to go around Cape Horn. It's probably the Oregon coast or something, but I like to imagine it someplace, you know, more remote. But all these bands of horizontal lines are really interesting. And normally horizontal lines are kind of, you know, subdued and, you know, not real exciting, but because these have all the waves and little broken edges on them and the light hitting them, it's just, I think it's just really a neat image. And it's not easy to take a picture looking right into probably the setting sun like this. It's a little bit grainy up in here, but you know, I don't mind that. I think I'd like this on my wall, and I'd look at it every once in a while and just be thankful that I was on the shore and not in a boat. So I scored this 5 for composition, 5 for impact, and 4 for technical.
Twilight by Elaine Giadoni, 14 points.
Okay, so it's probably the Oregon coast. Good job, Elaine. Okay, let's see. Now to the
subject color.
Subject color. Okay, well, before we look at the very first picture, I just kind of mentioned, you know, the stuff about minimalism again. I watched a video today by a lady named Judy Hancock Holland, who lives in Nanaimo in British Columbia. And she had lots of examples of really good minimalist pictures. So these were some of the things, again, that they emphasized. The fact that the picture is simple, soothing, although sometimes it can be pretty dynamic. It has usually a lot of negative space for the eye to rest, follows the rule of thirds with a powerful composition. They isolate the subject with very few distractions, a minimal number of compositional elements. They quote that a lot of the painters used back when minimalism was really popular was less is more. So what she mentioned was it should be a photo not of the thing, but of the essence of the thing. So we'll see if we have any essence coming up here. So.
A simple flame.
It's funny, when this popped up, I could smell it. I don't know if it was because I was a pyromaniac when I was a kid, or, you know, I lit fires in Boy Scouts, but I don't know how many of you can smell the burning, you know, phosphorus, you know, from this, which I thought was kind of interesting because one year, I think Dennis nominated the subject smells subject of the month, and everybody kind of groaned, and of course it never got chosen. But I would never have thought about a match smelling. But anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's a little bit out of focus. Even my wife kind of noticed that. I don't know if the person was trying to hold the match and take the photograph. I'm not in love with this composition. I think mostly because this bright wooden stick of the match is going off the page, and it really attracts my attention. It's just such a dominant shape. I don't know what else to suggest. I mean, the typical thing would be to have the match going straight up and down, but I can understand why you had it coming from the side. So I scored this 3 for composition, 4 for impact. It's a really good idea, and 4 for technical.
Okay, A Simple Flame by Terry Hamilton, 11 points.
I hope Terry hasn't started smoking.
Capturing Color.
Okay, well, it's definitely a field of color, that's for sure. Again, this is just, I don't know what it is. It's just a little bit crunchy, out of focus. I like the composition being in the center like this, but it just, you have to get a long ways away so that your eye can kind of blend it all together. And you don't see all the kind of lumpy, bumpy stuff that's going on. In the upper right, there's a little white spot there. I think I would just clone that out. So I think that's about it. I scored this 3 for composition, 4 for impact because of the color, and 3 for technical.
Capturing Color by Sister Madonna Booter, 10 points. Glamour.
Well, you can see the difference between this picture and the last picture. This one is definitely sharp and in focus where it counts on the chandelier. And it still has that really bright color, almost the same color palette, you know, the reds and the orange. The maker made sure that all the horizontal lines and the vertical lines were all right on. And that's important when they're such dominant parts of the composition. The chandelier is in a good location as far as composition. For minimalism, it might be just a little bit busy of a picture, but I can see why, you know, they chose this, and I do like it. And the only thing is, if you ever have a chandelier, you have to watch out for these darn little spider webs. There's like 2 or 3 of them. There's a big one right there and one over here. They only show up when you have company. So, you know, you probably couldn't have gone up and dusted that out, but you might have been able to clone that out. So this is Glamour. I scored this 4 for composition, 5 for impact, and 5 for technical.
Okay. Glamour by Tamara McGee, 13 points.
All right.
It was 14 points.
Yeah, I had to go look back. It is 14. 4, 5, 4, 5, 5.
Oh, okay. I had a 4 instead of a 5 in there. So 14
Thanks, John.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Hold on. Something moved. My whole thing moved.
Uh-oh.
Where am I? Hot Wheels.
All right, Hot Wheels. It is hot. It's a pretty dynamic image for minimalism. Partly because, you know, all this smoke and the subject matter, you assume this car, whatever kind of car it is really just tearing up the track here, and smoke is flying. There is some negative space. I started kind of looking at it, and I don't know if the maker created this smoke themselves. If they did a really good job. That's not easy to do things like this where it's, you can see through it, and then over here where it's completely white. If they did do that, they did a pretty good job of it. And stuff like this is kind of difficult to judge as a minimal photograph. So I don't know. I changed the score just this afternoon when I looked at this again. I think that maybe it's a little centrally located. So I gave it a, whoops, did I do that? I gave it a 3 for composition, a 4 for impact, and a 4 for technical.
Hot Wheels by David Powers, 11 points.
I don't know where David was. Maybe his brother's house. His brother likes to race.
P10200848.
You sure you got that title right?
No,
All right, another one of those crazy titles. There's got to be something better for a title, but this is the kind of thing I like to shoot. I like to go to car shows, and I'm never really able to capture an entire car very often without awful things in the reflections, including me, and distracting things in the background. So I started doing more and more of this kind of thing where I really look for the essence of the car. I mean, this is a car, and probably somebody like Steve Shining would even know what year, but I don't. So I really like. This black area in the bottom left-hand corner, I find kind of keeps sucking me down there. And I think if you could crop this off just above that and have a really, the picture would work just great. It just might change the proportions of the picture or something like that for printing, but I think I would like it better if that was cropped out. I scored this one 3 for composition, 4 for impact, and 4 for technical.
P10200848 by Barbara Murray, 11 points.
Oh, Barb, come on. Pardon me, was somebody going to tell us what year this is?
58 points.
58 for it. I knew you would know.
That was a 56 Fairlane.
Oh, we better move on before we have an argument.
Simple Pleasures.
Okay, this is getting closer to what I would really consider a minimalist picture. And I kept thinking, oh, it might be nice if they backed away a little bit and maybe the plants were gone. And my wife walked in this afternoon and she looked at it and she said, oh, I think I would like it better if there was only one plant, the plant on the left. So if you had guts enough to actually go up and take this plant on the right out, you could have maybe gotten more points. I don't know. But it's in focus. They did a good job. None of the white is blown out. And I scored this 4 for composition, 4 for impact, and 5 for technical.
Simple Pleasures by Lori Carlton Smith, 13 points.
All right.
Simplicity.
Well, Simplicity is a great title. This is just a perfect example for minimalism. And a person could probably even zoom in closer and it would still, give you the essence of this plant. Calla, I think. I looked at it in black and white and it really looked good in black and white too. Although I would stick with the color because these subtle colors are just really beautiful. And let's see. I have to make sure I'm looking at the right one here. Okay. So I scored this. It was easy. I gave this one a 5, 5, 5.
Nailed it. Simplicity by Donna Larson, 15 points.
Oh, and I should have said everything's in focus. It's sharp. I mean, there's nothing technically wrong at all. So when you know it's Donna's.
The Way.
Well, this will be one of those ones that will probably be controversial because this is minimalism. I can see this in none of those trendy New York apartments hanging on the wall. You know, it's just, you can't not look at the subject. I mean, you can't look away from that giant arrow. It's really a good idea. It's so simple that you keep thinking, well, that can't be right. Isn't there supposed to be something more? But technically, everything is in focus. You know, I really like this one. I know probably a lot of judges wouldn't maybe score it as high as I'm going to score it, but I think it's really pretty good for this subject matter. So I gave it a 4 for composition, a 5 for impact, and a 5 for technical.
Okay. The Way by Tim Lesser, 14 points.
All right, Tim. And
All right. So we're going into subject monochrome. Burnt out and broken.
this is so different than the glamour. I think it was the glamour, the chandelier photo, but almost exactly the same composition. And there's that crazy little spider still at work. Although I think that the spider web works really well on this one because this does look old and, you know, broken, obviously is broken. As I started to look at it, I don't know if the photographer, you know, tried to cut out the subject matter and just put in this blank background. It kind of looks that way up here by the chain. There's a little bit of a artifact around the edge of the chain, but you know, that doesn't really distract me because mostly you want to look right down in here. So let's see, it has negative space. I'm not real sure about how soothing this subject matter is. Anyway, I scored this one 4, 4, 4.
Burnt Out and Broken by Tamara McGee, 12 points.
12 points. I hope that's not in your house, Tamara. Hope the electrician did a better job than that.
Lunar Magic.
Well, it's a good title, and I can kind of imagine this as a cover for a, you know, a book, you know, maybe kind of a scary story of some kind. I like the way that the moon here is located. At least I'm assuming this is the moon because everything else is so dark. Taking a photograph of the moon is a lot harder than people think because most of the time you get just a big burned out circle like this. So I wish technically this was better and that, you know, we actually saw some detail in the moon and maybe a little more detail in the trees that are surrounding it. It looks pretty out of focus and, you know, gritty. I scored this 3 for composition, 3 for impact, and 2 for technical.
Lunar Magic by Sister Madonna Booter, 8 points. Outreach.
Well, this one was kind of a hard one to score. I think the composition is really good. The way they have it coming from the corner here and then flaring out, you know, kind of surrounding the picture on all from one side. It's just kind of, as far as minimalism, it's just kind of busy with all these sharp edged plant, you know, the parts of the whatever, the palm tree here. So it's kind of, I don't know, a little dangerous looking to me, but I do like the black and the white. And I scored this 4 for composition, 4 for impact, because it's got some impact to it for sure, and 4 for technical.
Outreach by Elaine Giordoni, 12 points. And our last picture of the evening, Read.
All right. And probably will be the most controversial. When this popped up, I immediately thought of an art museum and that I would look across a room and I would see something like this hanging on a wall in an art museum. It just has that feel to it. There's so little here as far as subject matter, but gosh, it really works for me. And even my wife thought it was really neat, which surprised me because I know some people are going to say, oh, that was terrible. But I think it really, really works. And these two, pieces that are going out kind of hold on to this big white field out here. And I don't know what it's doing, but for me, compositionally, this is a really neat picture. And of course, I've looked at these 2 or 3 times, and I zoomed in on this thing, and dumb me, I didn't even look at the title. I'm just zooming in going, what the heck is this thing? And then all of a sudden it hit me. Oh, this is a reed sticking up out of some water, and they've either done a mirror flip or that's the reflection in the water, and they've turned this into where everything else is white except for that reed. And if it hadn't been for the title, I never would have guessed that, because to me it's just totally an abstract picture. So I really like it. I'm sure some people are gonna die when they find out that I gave it a 5.55 for minimalism.
All right. Read by David Powers, 15 points.
All right, David. I would never have guessed that was yours, David. Cool. And I think that's it.
That's it for the night. Donna, before you leave, where did you get your calla lily?
I shot it in my family room with a black blanket behind it.
Where did you get the flower?
It was just a plant. I
But
think
where
I-
did you
I
buy
got-
it somewhere?
yeah.
Where?
Safeway.
How are you kidding?
Okay.
One of the
In the
comments,
floral department.
one of the comments I was going to make and I forgot to make was, I tried doing some flowers last winter. I could never get a flower that didn't have some blemish or something yucky about it. Your flower was perfect. There wasn't a blemish anywhere on that thing.
That's because it wasn't growing outside.
Oh, okay.
See, I've been wanting to get a calla lily. That's why was asked you,
Yeah.
because I had to try calla lilies. So
Is it a canna lily or a calla lily?
It's a calla lily.
Okay, because there is a canna lily, isn't there?
calla, L.
Yeah, I know this.
The callies are. There it is.
Breaking up audio.
But since we have a few minutes,
I think Tamara froze, or Colleen froze.
Did
since we have a few minutes, does anybody want to ask anybody else about their picture?
Well, let's see. How about who did the horse? I'm looking over here at names to see if I see.
Are you talking about Rural Ireland?
Yeah, that was Dorothy, and she's not here. I think that was Dorothy's, right?
Right.
What about the other horse? The
Errol.
And
barrels.
Maxie. I don't see Maxie's name. He may have logged out already.
Oh, could be. Could
Yeah.
be.
I want to know which cape.
The other,
I want to know which cape.
Oh, there's Tim.
Yes.
Hi, Tim.
Can you
Tim
ask?
was joined us just a few minutes late, so he
By the
was here when
way,
you said that.
Cape Horn is on the Washington side in the gorge.
Oh, really? Oh.
that's what
I should have Googled it, I guess.
Yeah.
Tamara, are you there? Where are you?
Yeah.
Did you deliberately choose the 2 chandeliers to go in the same?
I didn't do that on purpose, but after I picked them, I was like, oh, I picked 2 light bulb pictures.
I wondered about that.
And John, I noticed the spider web in the monochrome one and left it there intentionally.
Yeah,
But
I like
did
that.
not notice the ones in the chandelier picture.
That's because
So-
you didn't have any company.
and neither one of those are in my home. The chandeliers at the Davenport, and then the broken light bulb was at the Colfax hospital, St. Ignatius
Oh,
Hospital.
David Powers, was that really a water reflection?
Yeah, it was. If you look at it really closely, John missed it, but there's a little bubble right at the water line.
Oh,
And so it's the reflection in the water.
Okay, I didn't think the part that sticks out was perfectly symmetrical either.
Well,
At the
you can
end.
see the part on the bottom's a little bit wiggly where the reflection is.
Uh,
I saw that.
I'll have to look at it again more carefully, huh?
Yeah, you redeemed yourself. I was going to kill you for the car.
I really like that car one. Did you make the smoke in the car?
No, he was actually doing the burnout. It was a drag racer, and they just heat their tires up before they race.
Oh, yeah. Well, then it was a really good job from the guy that did this.
Yep.
Yeah.
But not
Don't
from
they
the
pour
other
some
car.
kind of solution on those tires too to make them smoke more?
Did
Yeah,
they?
they put some sticky stuff down on the track, and then they spin them in it.
Really?
Oh,
So they probably can't use their tires more than once, right?
You use them more than once.
Do you?
Yeah, they're
Think
special
that's
tires. They actually fold. It's really interesting to watch them. That they actually, as they twist, they crumple and fold up, and then they spring back when they take off.
Wow. That'd be neat to see. Yeah.
that'd be interesting.
I can show you a picture of a crumpled up tire if you really want to see one.
Wow.
Elaine, where was that Twilight? Or let's see, was that the one with the waves? Which one was the waves?
Oh,
Elaine?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
waves.
That was Long Beach,
Oh, is that Long Beach?
Long Beach, Washington,
Oh, we
Wow.
were
just a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
Did you
That
make-
was beautiful. What I really liked about that was the depth
Mhm.
between the waves.
Yeah, and the really
Thank you.
dense black in between them too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you have to darken the moon, Jenny? Or was it the sun?
It was the sun, it was sunset.
oh,
And you didn't have to do anything to keep it from blowing out?
No,
How long a lens was that?
just a normal lens, just a, I don't know, 55.
Huh. It kind of looks like that telephoto compression, the way the waves are stacked together.
No, I just cropped in a lot.
Yeah.
Well, John, thank you for judging. You did
yeah.
a great job.
Oh, thanks. It's really kind of hard. Sometimes I know I want to give a picture, like say at 14 or 13, but I'm not really sure where to take the points off or add the points, so, sometimes I just have to decide, well, okay, I'll take one off a technical or one off a composition, but it is fun, but it's always nerve wracking because I know everybody and everybody does such nice stuff, and I don't want to ever discourage anybody because we
Right.
are getting some neat pictures. So
Yeah.
You'll never get over that part, John.
oh, okay.
I don't anyway.
Well, that's good.
I really appreciate that you described stuff about minimalism when you were doing the minimalist judging part. That was real helpful.
Oh, good.
It's throwing the category into your comments.
And he posted that
I thought
video
Judith
on
actually had
on our
some
Facebook page.
ear horns
too.
in front of
Yeah,
her. It's
you know,
on her sweater.
He did? I have to look.
What, you thought she was holding
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Yeah.
our
I
Facebook
didn't
page is
do
not a total waste. Our Facebook page is kept interesting by Dora and John and a couple other people, but,
Well, I saw one thing.
huh?
I saw one thing that he posted. It was from that guy talking about the difference between Camera Club
Oh,
and that.
and great photos.
Yeah, that's the one I saw. That was an interesting video.
Yeah. Well, that photographer is really an interesting photographer. And they're talking about Andreas Gursky. And if all you see is just one picture and you don't really know his body of work, you might not be as impressed. But once you see his body of work and you learn how he works, it is pretty interesting. So, and all the people in the know think he's great, and he sold stuff for millions of dollars. So,
Wow. If only.
yeah, I think he has a picture of green grass that sold for a huge amount of money.
What was he depicting in that one?
I don't know. Probably what we're doing to the planet, I suppose. I don't
Because
know.
I know that one with the solar panels, I understand what he's depicting in that one.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
It was a really nice image.
Friend of mine, Pat O'Hara, had a book printed, and he had a little corner of the grass sticking up, and the printer had the grass coming out of the top of the sky. It was a reflection, and he didn't notice the one clue that, so it was printed in like 500 books upside down.
Oh,
oh,
I have read that the people comment about that Gursky print that's just basically strips of grass, pavement, river, and more grass, just horizontal lines. And it doesn't see much when it's small, but what I've read, the thing is like 8 feet across or something. And when you see the actual thing hanging on the wall, it's a lot more striking.
yeah. Oh, I would imagine. Yeah.
at 8 feet tall, yes.
Yeah, the actual print is really big.
I did a 9 by 18 foot photo mural, and I shot it with a 4 by 5, and then had Scanamural in Seattle print it, and then just hung it just like wallpaper
Oh,
Where did you hang it?
in a congregation behind the stage.
Nice.
I wish I'd put it on some kind of substrate though. Then I could have had it, because they remodeled like 10 years later,
Oh,
wiped it out.
oh.
Had a lot of loss with your photography. It's sad.
yeah.
Well, that's the only one I've ever made that big.